Welcome to Salisbury University on the Air, a program highlighting the activities and the people of the campus. I'm your host, Susan Purnell. Tom Draper helped shape the lives of nearly every resident of the Delmarva Peninsula as the owner of WBOC-TV and other broadcast stations in the area until his death in 2017. His legacy will continue to impact Salisbury University students for years to come through a new scholarship in his name. Here today to speak about Tom Draper's impact, as well as this and other scholarship opportunities at SU, is Jason Curtin, Salisbury University Vice President of Advancement and Alumni Relations and the Executive Director of the SU Foundation. Welcome, Jason. I got to tell you, going through all the names in your title now, it's a mouthful. You got a lot of responsibility.
It is. I think the foundation certainly adds to some of that. But I enjoy what I do, so you can call me whatever you want.
Call you whatever you want. Just not late for dinner,
That's
as my
right.
dad
That's
said.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So tell me about Tom Draper.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to talk about today. His legacy, what he's done for SU. Do you have any personal remembrances?
Yeah. I had the fortune, the first time I met Tom was when he made a donation to our stadium. And so that was the first experience. But then I got to see another side of Tom Draper. We had this meeting at the time, Delmarva Public Radio, which the university holds the licenses. Tom at the time with his media company was looking to expand and get back into purchasing radio stations and et cetera. And we were struggling with Delmarva Public Radio at the time. And we had this clandestine meeting in Easton at our former board chair's office. He's an attorney. And I got to see Tom Draper, the businessman, but very nice, very gracious, but very firm and knew what he wanted. And it was just really enlightening. And I had a ton of respect for him in that meeting. And it didn't work out where Draper sort of, was able to purchase our licenses, and they moved on and purchased other radio station licenses. But a really good experience with him, and just found him to be professional and a consummate person. And then, unfortunately, when he passed away, I did go to his funeral up in Delaware and sat there for 2 hours and listened to all the stories and different eulogies and stuff, and just the profound impact that he had in this area and just the type of person that he was. And I enjoyed the handful of experiences that I had knowing him in person. But then you can even learn. It's weird that you even learn more about a person at their funerals.
I know. They should have funerals before you die, I've always said.
Yeah, it really was. And I even found myself having even more admiration for the person, not just his business acumen, but the person that he was, and how kind he was to employees, and just that philanthropic spirit that he had was really telling.
Do you know anything about his background and how he ended up here in Salisbury?
Yeah, I mean, he was born in Milford, so he was from the area, and then he went away to college up at Brown and played lacrosse and got his degree, but then he came back to the area, and he bought his first radio station. And
So he started in radio.
He started in radio. My understanding is that was his first thing. Is he came back and he bought a radio station, and he started, and then from there it went into more broadcasting entities, television, digital media, et cetera, and just sort of grew what Draper Holdings and Draper Media currently is now. So a really interesting story, but sort of a self-made person, but had longtime roots to the area, and just I know he loved the Delmarva Peninsula from the whole entire region.
Now, I know a lot of entities have his name. Can you tell us about some of those?
Yeah, I mean, I think most viewers would know, WBOC and the radio stations that he has, but certainly the NBC affiliate up in the Delaware Beaches, right. WRDE is a Draper Holdings, a Draper Media outlet. I think there's the Telemundo, the Hispanic station, and then a number of radio stations he has now. And I think the latest creation they have was the Delmarva Sports Network. So a lot of the media entities, whether you're flipping the channels or you're listening to something on the radio, chances are Tom Draper and Draper Holdings and Draper Media has a hand in that.
And his daughter Molly is running that now?
Yeah. I think the children are involved in different things, and I worked with Molly specifically on the scholarship that we're gonna chat up here in a little bit. But all of them, wonderful people, and some of them still reside here on the peninsula as well, and continuing his legacy.
So tell us now about this Draper Foundation scholarship. How did that come about? What is it?
Yeah, so after his passing, we had conversations about his legacy here on the shore, and at the time we talked with the family about a scholarship in his name, and it took a few years to develop, but we got to a point where, he cared very deeply about Salisbury University and our students. You think about our communications majors, our business programs. A lot of our graduates would go work for a lot of entities in his company. And he had a passion for education. I mean, he himself went and got a college degree and believed in that very much. And so we were able to develop the Tom Draper Scholarship. It sort of supports students that are communications majors or business majors, sales, et cetera, that have an interest in going into whether it's broadcast journalism or media sales or et cetera, something related to that. It's a scholarship that'll help support those students. There's no obligation that you got to go work for Draper Media or anything, but he just, his legacy is helping students.
But there's a chance that some of them will.
Absolutely. There's a high likelihood that they are always recruiting our students and love hiring Salisbury graduates with various entities of their companies. So
I bet they do. Yeah. Now, you mentioned that he had something to do with the stadium.
Yeah.
I know he was an athlete himself and
Loved
a big
lacrosse.
fan of lacrosse, yes. How did he get involved with the stadium build?
Yeah, when we were constructing the stadium, we had various naming opportunities inside of it. The fourth floor of the stadium is sort of where our media operations, game operations, we have different...
Where they're broadcasting?
Where they broadcast, but also where media outlets can come in and whether it's the newspaper reporters or, if there's radio broadcasts or television broadcasts or whatever. So we had talked with Mr. Draper and his company at the time about naming that fourth floor. So we have the fourth floor, the whole operations, not necessarily the sports information or the press box, but everything related to media is named for Draper Holdings.
Oh, that's great.
So,
that's great. That was after he died,
It was
right?
before.
That was
so
before
he was
he
able
died.
to be there.
So he was a part of that.
So he was able to be
I
at
wasn't
the
sure.
Yep.
Okay.
He was there and have some photos with him, and he was able to see
good.
his recognition plaque and all the
That's
different
good.
company entities on it, and he loved it.
I don't think there was anything about him though that needed that media attention. He wasn't that kind of person. He was sort of quietly philanthropic.
No, he did it, I think, to support our student athletes. I mean, I think him playing lacrosse at Brown and just knew, and I think, he certainly was proud of the success that Salisbury had on the fields and wanted to invest in that and certainly invest in our student experiences. We have a really, really, we have our own Seagull Sports Network, which is our student-led broadcasts of our games, and so he believed in that training ground and that training experience for our students. They're filming, they're broadcasting our games, and that translates to really being productive and good potential employees for Draper Media. So I think he believed in that sort of whole educational experience. And it really is befitting. I mean, I think about this scholarship here. He's helping support them in the classroom, and then that stadium gift is helping support them in that practical, real life experience.
So how many other endowed scholarships like the Draper Foundation Scholarship do you have at SU?
Yeah. So the foundation has 293 unique endowments, but 206 of those are scholarships. So it's growing. I mean, it's grown pretty substantially over the last few years, a lot of investment in permanent endowments. Roughly over 200 endowed scholarships. The foundation
when
holds.
You say an endowed scholarship, do you mean that basically what the fund spins off is what you use as a scholarship? So it's a permanent. It stays there. If you give $100,000, that $100,000 stays in a fund. And then whatever that can spin off, you got it as a scholarship.
Yeah, it's a perpetuity gift, so it'll live on forever. The foundation and our board of directors and our investment committee takes the funds and invests it every year, and then there's a payout each year. So those funds, and they grow over time. So, market conditions withstanding and things aren't great right now, but over the long term,
they're turning around.
Yeah, $100,000 gift eventually in a few years turns into $120,000, $150,000, and it grows and grows and grows.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
the impact becomes larger, and it's a permanent legacy and a permanent gift to support Salisbury University.
So how important are gifts like these to the university?
Oh, they're critical. They are critical. I mean, it's the university operates a budget, from where state public institution, so we do get support from the state, and then certainly we get tuition and fees from our students, from parents, and loans, and however students pay their bills, and then some support from auxiliary services, whether it's our bookstore, food services, etc. But the foundation and those funds, the majority of those are the enhancements. So helping students with financial aid, helping our faculty do research, helping our staff with development. Those are sort of those value added items that the foundation and endowments help make that experience at the university possible for students, faculty, and staff.
And I don't know if you'll know off the top of your head, but like what percentage of the students have scholarships?
Yeah. So this current academic year we're in, 972 scholarships were awarded.
Wow.
So about 800 students, some students receive
Have
multiple scholarships.
Sure.
So about 800 students received about $1.6 million in scholarship from the foundation.
That's a pretty high
So,
percentage of the student population.
Yeah. And I always say this, you can invest in the university in a variety of different ways, but the most meaningful way to support the university is by helping a student get their degree, and it's through financial aid. And for a lot of students, getting a scholarship makes or breaks them being here. It helps make it possible. They don't have to have a part-time job. They don't have to take out loans.
Right.
A scholarship with no strings attached other than just doing well in your classes really makes a difference for students.
So as far as prospective students are concerned and they want to know about the scholarships, how do they go about learning this?
We have a really great, if you go onto the just Salisbury website and you go into the search box and you click in scholarships, we have a great database where students can enter it and they can just search all the available private scholarships available through the foundation and the criteria.
And if they qualify, do they do it right there online?
Some are a simple application. Some are reaching out to the financial aid office. They can read about what the qualifications are. Does it require a certain major? Does it require a certain GPA, et cetera? And then also in that, it's really interesting because they can click on another box like for example, the Tom Draper Scholarship. Not only would it show you the criteria, it would show a little bit about who Tom Draper was. And so, we try to link the students to these philanthropic donors that set these up. So, but that's the best way that students can, and our Office of Financial Aid is great. They can certainly help students navigate the system and try to find out what scholarships they might be eligible for.
Now, in talking about the Draper Foundation, I mean, not all of us have the means to establish a huge scholarship. But if you just wanted to start the process, what would it take?
Yeah. So our endowed scholarship levels start at $25,000. And so our current spending rate for the foundation is 4%. So that's $1,000 scholarship a year, and it grows over time. When we're working with donors or potential donors, you don't have to just write a check for $25,000. We have pledge payments. A lot of people say, I want to build a scholarship, so I'm going to pay for it over 5 years, which makes it more palatable. But it's a $25,000 endowment level, and then it goes up from there. So, but that's the base.
Do the people who receive the scholarships ever get to know the people that have given the scholarships?
Yeah, we do an annual scholarship and awards luncheon where we link our student recipients with the donors. We usually hold that every late April, early May, and it's a great event. We've already had it for 6 or 7 years, and seeing students connect these telling their story, like what the scholarship means to them on that personal level. And we also, for students who can't attend and throughout the year, we also try to encourage our students to write handwritten notes to our donors, just telling them a little bit about themselves and just, an opportunity to thank them for setting up scholarships. And so that's also a connection that we try to help facilitate between students and donors.
Yeah, great. So most donors who donate to the university do so through the SU Foundation, and you're the executive director of that. Tell us a little bit about the foundation and the special year it is.
Yeah, so the foundation is celebrating its 50 years. It was founded in 1973. And so here we are, 50 years of just the impact that we've had on the university and the growth. And so we are hosting an open house on February 16th at the Foundation Center right off of Camden Avenue. And we'll have all kinds of archives and photos and memories, just sort of a drop-in, a few little giveaways. And that's the actual day of the Articles of Incorporation of when the foundation was created
Oh.
back in 1973 on February 16th, which is why we're having the open house. But it's amazing, 50 years of foundation's existence. And, and Salisbury University was fortunate. I think we were one of the first foundations in, what is now the University System of Maryland. Salisbury University had the foresight to create a foundation. So it's one of the older foundations within the system. So we're proud of that legacy, and we're proud of the impact this foundation has had on the university and our students, faculty, and staff for 50 years, and we're excited about it.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about scholarships today, but there are other ways that people can contribute.
Oh, yeah.
Except for, without starting
Yeah.
a scholarship. Tell us a little bit about some of those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, you think about campus life, and you think about Salisbury University, and I always say this when I meet alumni or donors or prospective donors. There's probably not one thing you can think of in life that the university doesn't have a hand in, whether it's your passion for athletics or the arts or sciences or education or et cetera. I mean, we have, for a student Republican club, we have a student Democratic club. So even politics, you can find a balance in anything. And so I think people can give to whatever they like. And I say this, like, you don't have to give the university millions of dollars. A $10 gift makes a difference. A $20 gift makes a difference. Putting Salisbury University in your estate plans after you're gone makes a difference. People can set up programmatic endowments. So if you want to continue, we have people that come and say, I love biology and I'm a biologist and I would love to set up a fund that helps the biology department. We can help donors set up endowments for programmatic gifts. So you can make gifts of designation to various areas. So, and the rallies are even just coming to events, coming and being an advocate for the university, showing up for our cultural performances, showing up to our athletic events, coming and watching students present on research. I mean, there's different ways that people can support the university, and all of it is welcome.
Now, are any of those listed somewhere? Where does somebody go to find out the opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, the university's website is so robust and has so much information. But the foundation, if you just go to the university's website and there'll be a button at the top that just says SU Foundation, you can click on that. And if you're interested in giving, it'll show you different ways that you can give. And certainly, we have a great staff, a friendly staff. You can call anyone, you can call me, you can email me, all my contact information.
And you don't have to give toward a specific project. You can just give generally to the SU Foundation,
we have
right?
people who give, they're called unrestricted funds, and frankly, people who give unrestricted, that's the true sign of the faith and trust that people have in an organization, is when you say, I trust you enough to just give you undesignated funds, to use the money wisely, and we do. And so, certainly people do not have to designate gifts to the university.
Well, that's all very, very interesting. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having
Always
me.
good to see you, Jason.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, and thank you again for hosting this and all you do for Salisbury.
My pleasure. Yeah. Students are back on campus for the spring semester now, but recently, some 429 students earned their degrees, and many walked across the stage as SU graduates during fall commencement ceremonies in December. Let's take a look at that exciting day. With the return for the new semester, SU also enjoys a slate of new spring cultural and educational events, most of which are open to the public. Let's take a look at some of those opportunities for this month. SU and friends of the university, like Tom Draper, make such a positive impact on students. I'm sure future recipients of the Draper Scholarship will go on to do amazing things. I'd like to thank my guest, Jason Curtin, Salisbury University Vice President of Advancement and Alumni Relations and Executive Director of the SU Foundation. I'm Susan Purnell, and this has been Salisbury University on the Air. Thank you for watching, and please remember to always make tomorrow yours.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lynn Lepre, the president of Salisbury University, and you're watching PAC 14, your public access channel.